Sam with the Aristocrats took down a Prime Speaker Bantek. Caleb took down Esper, and now these two square off at 5-0. Two of the institutions of Midwestern Magic.
Yes, absolutely. Sam Black playing the Aristocrats Act 2 as always. Always finding a way to get sacrifice outlets into his deck. This is the deck that you basically saw Brad Nelson and Jacob Van Lunen update. Sam is playing a very similar main deck to their updates here. A lot of 4-ofs to go on, 3 Blasphemous Sacks and 1 Orzhov Charm, and then lands. And then his sideboard is a little bit different. We'll get there when we do move into the sideboarded games. But again, this deck that Caleb Durward's playing is a deck, again, that Ross Merriam went 7-1 with at the Star City Games Invitational. A deck that kind of came out of nowhere, and a deck that is not very good against Boros Reckoner. And taking a look at Sam's deck list, four of those. There's 4 of those. Sam's going to start off with a Godless Shrine into a Doom Traveler. So Caleb is going to have to hope to dodge. He's going to start off with a Flint 4, which is a 3-3 because of that Stomping Ground. So a good start there for him. Sam's start is ideal for his deck, which is a Doom Traveler. But this is part of what the Aristocrats does. It's the calm before the storm, my friend.
Yes.
Things get out of control quickly.
Do we have a High Priest?
Yeah, he has 4 copies of that in his deck and 1 of them in his hand. You see a Blood Crypt, a Cavernous Souls. 2 copies of High Priest actually in his hand.
With Caleb's deck really only having Domery and Bonfire as removal, we don't even necessarily have to have Reckoner to win from here. We can actually just win with High Priest in the sack outlet.
Yeah. And start demon tokening it up. As you see, Sam is considering what land to play between that Blood Crypt and the Cavern of Souls. Looks like he's going to go with the Cavern. We'll see if he's going to name. We'll get confirmation. Human oftentimes might not be, as we are going to see that skirt stack High Priest. And
Wizard.
Wizard.
That's for the Reckoner.
Reckoner is a wizard.
Oddly enough.
So here comes your Flinthoof Boar. Let's see if Caleb has a good follow-up here. So you see a couple of hands there. Rupon Crag he plays. Rupon Crag in the hand along with the Forest. Now he's going to go with a Boarland Ranger and search out another land. So not the greatest start we've ever seen.
This is very dangerous now. We might actually see High Priest get online, potentially even this turn.
So you're going to see Sam play a Blood Crypt untapped. Going to take 2 points of damage. He's going to follow up with a Cartel maybe? Yep, there's your Cartel, Aristocrat. So trouble is a brewing.
Now we could sack the Doom Traveler to the Aristocrat and then still have 2 creatures untapped and a Morbid Trigger to make a 5/5 off of the Priest.
For those of you guys at home wondering about Caleb's wrist guard that he does have on, Shaheen Saroni actually plays with the same thing as well. Carpal Tunnel.
From the shuffling.
Yeah, plays a lot of Magic. He doesn't click around like some of us do online. He actually just plays a lot of real life Magic when he tests, shuffling a lot of decks. Can hurt that wrist there.
Sure.
Thankfully, not a problem I've ever had, but I've heard it's a pain in the butt, as he does just play Rootbound Crag and pass the turn back.
And Sam also still has a Reckoner left in his hand that we haven't even seen yet. A commanding position.
And more than happy to come across with a 5/5, and this is difficult for Caleb to get himself out of. It's going to involve a Miracle Bonfire, and if you want a Miracle Bonfire, you're going to have to pay for it now because Boros Reckoner's here. So Caleb is going to draw a card, very slowly looking for a Bonfire. So he's going to play a land. You see a Thundermaw Hellkite in his hand, but again, that's not ideal in this situation.
It's actually, one could argue, actively not awesome to cast as it kills a spirit and then allows a Morbid Trigger to take place.
Yep.
I guess it's the same, because we have Aristocrat, it could happen regardless, but...
So Sam's going to sacrifice a spirit that would die anyway to the Thundermaw's triggered ability. Think of a protection from a color, probably going to be green there, to be safe on the ground. Thundermaw Hellkite is ready to strike in the air, but Sam can just trade a demon token for that Thundermaw Hellkite if he deems that necessary. Caleb is just going to pass the turn back. High Priest is going to put another demon into play. Sam, look at Sam at the ready with the tokens. You think this is his first rodeo with this deck?
No.
He's going to draw a card, draws a Lingering Souls for the turn. You see a Blasphemous Act in his hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Might be about that time, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably in a spot where he's just debating whether he wants to even show Caleb that he has Blasphemous Act in his deck.
No, well, Caleb fully aware of that this is here. Caleb, a very well-informed Magic player. Yeah, Blasphemous Act going to kill you with the Reckoner. Caleb knows exactly what's going on here. He knows he's probably in a bad matchup or certainly behind this game, and he is going to die to the Blasphemous Act. So Sam Black is going to be up a game. As we're going to move on to our sideboards here, you have Caleb's in front of you. Any help, Ski-Poos?
He's got 2 Mizium Mortars and 3 Pillar of Flames if he wants to add a little more spot removal to the deck.
Sure.
Which I think makes sense here. I think doubles play is probably more for control matchups. I think I'm not sure if he wants to go up to the full playset. Obviously, Sam's deck has Lingering Souls and historically we've associated Thunder Maw as being an anti-Lingering Souls card, but Sam's deck is also capable of killing quite quickly, so I'm not sure it can go all the way up to 5. It's probably just a straight upgrade over Wolfear Silverheart because Sam's deck is so good at blocking on the ground that I just don't think you can. Flyers are at a priority, but I would be surprised. Maybe we move up to 3 or 4 Thunder Maws, I'm not sure, but the Pillars and Mortars strike me as more of the type of cards that Caleb wants to bring in here.
Okay. Taking a look at Sam's sideboard, this is where things do get a little bit interesting. Zealous Conscripts certainly seems like a good one here. 3 copies of that in the sideboard. Electrickery, not great in this matchup. More for your mirror match, your Naya Blitz matchups. 3 copies of Sorin Lord of Innistrad, just a little bit slow here. Can't imagine those coming in. Obsidat, 2 copies of that. I think if you're going to have a 5-drop in, I think you'd rather have Conscripts than Obsidat just because you can't take a Thunder Maw, bash with it, sacrifice it to one of the 8 Aristocrats in the deck. Let's have the Bloodline, a little bit more removal, 2 copies of Duress and an Intangible Virtue. I think Zealous Conscripts 100% going to join us. Maybe Obsidat if Sam thinks the game's going to go a little bit longer. And then that Singleton Sever the Bloodline if he would like a little bit more spot removal.
Yeah, it's tough because you can also, you could imagine, you know, my initial instinct was he might actually want Obsidat over his Conscripts in this matchup, just because if you anticipate that Caleb's siding in cards, he's probably siding in a bunch of spot removal. So the matchup might not be that much of a pure race anymore, and you don't necessarily have a bunch of sack outlets in play if Caleb is pillaring and mortaring your Aristocrats.
Yep.
So to me, Obsidat is pretty much context-free, very powerful. No matter what way Caleb sideboards, it's going to be just good at coming up the ground and an easy way to take the game over, especially if Caleb's going into a more attrition-y route. I understand what you're saying, like the instinct is obviously, Sam, you know, Caleb's going to have some big awesome creatures, and I'm going to have some sack outlets, and so Conscript seems good to me, but assuming that Caleb is bringing in removal spells, it's possible you would want Obsidat instead. Like, I guess we'll see how it plays out.
Caleb Durward on your left is going to be on the play here. That beard, man.
Oh, it is.
That beard.
We're well past the point of outrageous. I mean, we can't even call it that anymore.
There's an adjective for it.
It's
just don't know what it is.
It's a different word now.
Yeah. It is nice. That's all I've got. It is just N-I-C-E.
For those of you who have not been following the entire show, first of all, shame on you. And secondly, in case you weren't aware, Sam Black, he'll be getting his own set of tokens along with yourself.
Yes.
Second wave. And Sam, if you wanted to play with some sweet zombie tokens, the Sam Black one is perfect.
I cannot wait to give those away at Grand Prix Miami. I'll be one of the ones that having Sam sign his for me.
Sure.
I'm a big fan of the Sam Black token. I think the best of the 10 so far.
Yeah.
All the artwork is fantastic, all of those, don't get me wrong. But Sam, you take the cake, my friend. You did it. So we'll see what's going to happen here. I think, you know, the matchup is close.
Sam Black was very easily able to break serve last game.
Yeah.
He was on the draw, and it looked like he was on the play because he was the only one ever attacking.
Yeah. Really did not have much of an issue whatsoever there.
And if people are moving more into this Domri Red, all creatures, not that much really in the way of spot removal or spells in general, the High Priest is insane against these sort of decks.
Yeah, really is. If High Priest gets active, it's just...
I mean, after he played it, it was basically Domri or bust. He had to Domri and fight that turn, or he's never getting back into it.
No. See, Caleb's going to take a mulligan down to 6 here. Sam looks as pleased as Sam can look with his Aristocrat stack here. Looks like he's going to keep that 7. Yeah, High Priest is a scary card because, you know, in some matchups it's not very good. It's kind of weird because it feels like this very high variance card. In some matchups it's not very good. In some matchups it's completely busted and your opponent has to take care of it almost immediately. And in this matchup it is a card that your opponent has to take care of almost immediately.
Yes.
Red-Green deck has no interest in playing as 5/5 flyers. It puts a lot of pressure on their bonfires, puts a lot of pressure on the Thundermaw Hellkites. And you know Thundermaw happens to just trade with the demon. So,
yeah. I mean, the Red-Green deck is making a ton of concessions building the deck a particular way because Thundermaw is so powerful, and High Priest gets to make Thundermaws for free every turn.
Yeah.
So
must really be nice.
Clearly, the Red-Green deck has no hope of keeping its head above water once that card's online.
Yeah. So we'll see if Caleb can fight back here. He's going to take a mulligan down to at least 6. We'll see if he goes any further down the rabbit hole. For those of you guys that are wondering what the Sam Black token does look like, you can go to the GP Miami website. That's magicgp.com, where it does have all the information, not only about the Miami GP, but if you do want to see Sam Black's fantastic Magic token, where he is a zombie now, it should be live for you guys at magicgp.com momentarily.
And Caleb looks like he's happy enough with his 6.
Please just punch.
Ladies and gentlemen, you take the playing Legacy Challenge. You need to come on.
Turn 1, Godless Run and Doom Traveler from
5
Sam.
minutes left for registration.
Arbor Elf and Pillar of Flame. High Priest from Sam.
The Boogeyman.
Stomping Ground untapped.
Yeah.
And there's Gore Clan Rampager.
So let's see what Sam's gonna follow up here. Probably a Reckoner, yeah. And this is the danger here for the Green Red Aggro deck. It just doesn't have a great way to get that thing off the table.
Yeah, it can. I mean, 4/4s can kind of brawl. You know?
All right, Mortars.
There's a bonfire.
Or sorry, Bonfire. I apologize.
Totally fine. Arbor Elf's gonna bite it, but
Yeah, leaves Caleb with a 4/4, so
And this
it's
is-
certainly ahead.
and this is sort of my point about potentially wanting Obsidat instead of conscripts here. If Caleb's last card in hand is Mortars, if the matchup is about that sort of thing.
Yeah. See how well Sam can recover. He's got 2 threats to play. You see a High Priest. He keeps
Thumbing
shifting
through his-
He keeps shifting him around. All right, High Priest and the Blood Artist. Okay. Now he's going to pass the turn back. Caleb's going to draw. And the last card in his hand is Mortars.
Yeah.
So. In we go with the old Rampager. He's going to play a land. Let's see if he's going to pull the trigger on this Mortars right now, or if he's going to try to set up for Overload.
It's pretty risky with Sam thumbing around all those 2-mana spells. If it's a Cartel Aristocrat and a
Another guy.
yeah, it's all now it's. You're gonna wish you had just fired this off on the High Priest, but it depends how much Caleb respects Sam's potential to bluff him here.
Yeah, and it looks like he respects it quite a bit. There's a Blood Artist trigger as well. Drain 1, gain 1 is going to take place here. Caleb definitely scared of the High Priest. It plays such a huge role in this matchup. You just can't let it get active. We saw last game, and you see how scared of it he is. Sam draws another High Priest.
Ugh.
Now Sam does have a little bit of decision to make. He does have 3 2-mana spells in his hand, and Orzhov Charm, Scourge Stag, High Priest, and that Cartel Aristocrat. So which way does he want to go about doing this? He's just going to play the 2 guys and pass.
Yeah, he's also low on life. That's
Yeah.
another factor here.
As Caleb draws a card. It's not a Bonfire of the Damned. In comes this here Rampager. Does he have a backup Rampager, maybe for lethal? Even though it wouldn't be lethal, Sam could attack a guy if he needed to. No, he just has a Gyre Sage and passes the turn back. So now Sam is going to take a draw. It's another High Priest.
And we have Orzhov Charm, so now we have a way to actually trigger. I mean, we had it before with the Aristocrat, but now the High Priests are super online.
And Sam's considering casting that Orzhov Charm. If he does cast it now, he will die if he kills a Rampager. Now, if he doesn't kill a Rampager, kills a Gyre Sage, and then activates the High Priest, he's actually okay. You see him considering his options here.
I mean, there's really no rush. If Caleb goes untap, attack you, Sam can just put his. I guess he doesn't want to lose both the High Priests, but he could still just triple block if he needed to. Doesn't strike me as a reason to rush here. Yeah, you can just send it
He's
back.
just going to pass the turn back. So Caleb's going to draw a card. What's it going to be? It's not a Bonfire of the Damned. Sam dodges that bullet. His Bonfire would have been huge here. Here is an Arbor Elf.
Ladies and gentlemen,
He's going to pass the turn back. Sam,
Legacy Challenge. This is your final call for registration.
is he going to sacrifice a guy?
Side event registration station.
He is.
Yep.
So there's your Blood Artist trigger. High Priest is going to get sacrificed. Now the active High Priest can pump out 5/5 tokens. That's going to happen. Sam going to untap. Orzhov Charm in his hand. We're going to add a Blood Crypt to that. Sam's sitting at a precarious 5 right now. He's doing a pretty good job of stabilizing the borders. Here comes a 5/5 demon in the air. Starting to get after Caleb's life total, wants to shorten this game down.
Yep, and now he can sack the token, drain for one, you know, he's kind of looping here.
It's like that demon has vigilance.
Yep.
In a weird, wonky sort of way. As Caleb does not miracle a Bonfire of the Damned yet again. Let's see what the draw was this turn. 6 mana. Is that a Mizium Orders? It is a Mizium Orders with Overload.
That is obviously an excellent draw here. We're just going to see how Sam wants to. I mean, he's going to be able to keep a 5/5.
He's going to be able to keep a 5/5. He can do some sacrifice fun with that Cartel Aristocrat as well. Now we're going to see an Orzhov Charm. That's going to kill the Gore Clan Rampager. Sam is going to go down to 4, or down to 1, and then up to 2 from the Blood Artist. Now you're going to see him pump out a 5/5.
We're going to sack to
now
keep.
We're going to sacrifice to keep the Aristocrat alive. And drain, so he's going to move up to 3. And you see Caleb is going to extend the hand as he can't get through on the ground, and Sam is going to kill him in the air due to the drains plus the 2 demons. So Sam Black, not phased by a top deck Mizium Mortars with Overload, does defeat Caleb Durward 2-0. The Aristocrats Act 2 moves on to 6-0. Tom Martel, I know you're watching at home. You can take that smile off your face.
Yep.
We see it from here in Milwaukee, buddy. We see ya.
But yeah, it's very hard to beat. You know, creatures plus removal spells is a very tough package to try to beat the Aristocrats with, because just brawling with that deck, especially on the ground, is really, really tough.
Yeah.
Flyers are good, but your creatures that are just random ground pounders, really, really rough.